All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're breaking down one of the most misunderstood, yet absolutely crucial tools in the modern software world. If you look at almost any developer job description today, you'll inevitably see a hard requirement to know Git and GitHub. But for a platform that over 93% of professional developers use every single day, it can be incredibly, sometimes paralyzingly, intimidating from the outside looking in.
Look, if you've ever felt completely lost staring at this platform, you are definitely not alone. Just check out this highly relatable plea for help from a beginner on the Learn Programming subreddit. They wrote, "Can someone for the love of God explain what Git and GitHub is like I'm 5? Every time I go to GitHub, I'm lost as hell." People constantly mix up the terminology, and the platform itself is just loaded with overwhelming jargon, things like pull requests, forks, and commits. So we're going to strip all of that away right now and build your understanding entirely from the ground up.
So the crucial first step here is drawing a hard, definitive line between these two fundamentally different things. Git is the underlying engine. It's a local version control tool that runs directly on your computer to track changes to your files over time. GitHub, on the other hand, is the cloud platform. It's the web interface and social network where you upload, host, and share those Git-tracked files. Basically, think of Git as your personal offline word processor and GitHub as the collaborative online document hub where your whole team comes together to work.
Now that we've cleared up that major point of confusion, here's our roadmap for mastering this topic today. First, demystifying Git and GitHub. 2, the video game checkpoint. 3, how collaboration actually works. 4, powering open source software. And finally, building the ultimate developer portfolio. Section 1. Demystifying Git and GitHub. Let's look at where these tools actually came from and how quickly they managed to take over the entire tech industry.
The timeline of this technology is just absolutely staggering. Back in 2005, Linus Torvalds, the famous creator of the Linux operating system, built Git simply because he desperately needed a better, faster way to track his own massive codebase. Fast forward just 3 years to 2008, and the GitHub platform launches to give developers a beautiful, user-friendly web interface for hosting those local Git projects. It solved such a massive problem and became so insanely foundational to the way modern software is built that a decade later, Microsoft swooped in and acquired GitHub for a mind-blowing $7.5 billion.
Moving right along to Section 2, the video game checkpoint. To really understand how Git works under the hood, without getting bogged down in confusing terminal commands, we're going to use a metaphor pretty much everyone knows: saving a video game.
When you write code, you definitely don't want to blindly overwrite your files every time you hit save. When you make a commit in Git, it's exactly like marking your character for a save right before a totally unpredictable, ridiculously difficult boss fight. You are taking a permanent snapshot of your project at that exact precise moment in time. If your new code totally breaks everything, and trust me, that happens absolutely all the time to literally every developer, you don't lose hours of progress, you just reload your last commit checkpoint and try the boss fight again.
Expanding on that, a repository, or a repo, as you'll hear developers casually call it, is simply that master save file. It's the main project folder that holds your current code, plus that entire historical list of every single commit checkpoint you've ever made. You can have a local repo sitting safely on your laptop, and you can push a perfect copy of that exact repo up to GitHub. Now, it's not only backed up securely in the cloud, but it's also visible to the rest of the world.
Section 3. How collaboration actually works. Let's move to the next step and see how this builds into a system where multiple people can actually play in the same save file without overwriting each other's progress. This right here is the standard GitHub flow that professional teams use globally every single day. If you want to add a new feature, you don't mess with the main code. First, you branch off. This essentially creates a parallel universe of the code so you can work entirely safely. Next, you make your changes and commit them. Then you push or upload your specific branch up to GitHub. You formally propose your changes to the team. And finally, if everything looks good, your team merges your branch seamlessly back into the main project.
Now, what's really interesting here is the fourth step we just mentioned, the pull request, or PR for short. It is absolutely the heart of collaboration on GitHub. A pull request isn't just a simple file transfer. It's this highly detailed, dedicated space where your teammates can jump in, see exactly which specific lines of code you added and which ones you deleted. They can review it line by line, leave comments, suggest critical improvements, and ultimately approve your hard work before it ever touches the live production code that customers actually use.
Section 4. Powering open source software.
Now that you grasp the micro-mechanics of how a single team works together, we really need to look at the staggering macro impact this collaborative system has on global software development.
150 million. That is the massive number of registered users on GitHub as of May 2025. This sprawling global community is actively contributing to over 420 million different repositories. I mean, we are talking about a scale of human collaboration that has quite literally never existed before in human history, with well over 5 billion developer contributions being made in a single recent year.
Because of this unprecedented scale, every major software revolution is happening in public directly on this platform. The most important open source movements of 2026, from entirely local AI runners like Llama to visual automation giants like NNN, they are all built, hosted, and shared entirely through GitHub. Anyone, anywhere in the world, can view their underlying code, learn from their architecture, and submit their own pull request to make the software even better.
And in a surprising kind of cinematic twist, the open source code hosted here is considered so monumentally precious to human progress that GitHub literally captured 21 terabytes of it, etched it onto specialized archival film, and buried it in a decommissioned permafrost coal mine deep inside an Arctic mountain. It's called the Arctic Code Vault. It's a real place, designed to completely ensure our modern software foundations can survive offline for at least 1,000 years. Crazy, right?
All right, Section 5, the ultimate developer portfolio. Let's pivot from frozen vaults and massive global projects back to you, and look at how mastering this platform actively boosts your personal career today.
So why does GitHub matter for your career? Well, I want you to ask yourself why technical recruiters and hiring managers often care vastly more about a candidate's active GitHub profile than a beautifully formatted traditional paper resume.
It's because GitHub acts as a fully transparent, living resume. I mean, anyone can boldly claim they know Python or JavaScript on a piece of paper, but your GitHub repositories actually prove you can write clean, functional code. It shows your commit history graph, which is a daily visual representation of your continuous learning and dedication. It proves you know how to write proper documentation to your README files, and by successfully participating in open source projects, it verifies you actually know how to communicate and collaborate with other human beings.
And that brings us to the bleeding edge. As AI tools like GitHub Copilot are integrated directly into the platform, not just auto-completing code, but actually researching, planning, and writing entire pull requests on your behalf, it leaves us with a fascinating, unanswered question. If the machine starts handling the coding checkpoints, what will the future of human collaboration actually look like at the center of the software universe?